Hi everyone, I'm Shawna. Welcome to the channel, and today is probably my favorite day of the month. We're resetting the bingo board for July today. So I'm up close and personal because we're going to be getting to it. There is only one change I made to the board, and that is the prompt of in the creative category where I had a French theme style week. I've been working on my summer capsule wardrobe and creating a new mini capsule on top of that, or even within that, was a little overwhelming and wasn't the play. So instead what I chose was recreating 4 Pinterest outfits. So I'm gonna let you know how this month went. I'm also going to let you know what I bought, which is actually one thing, so we're not going to be there very long. I'm going to talk about how I think I'm going to be spending my bingo money, and then we'll get into resetting the board. Now this month, the reset is going to be different, and I'm trying to, find my groove here as to how I want the setup to be more permanently. I can always change it however I want, but I'm looking to find that happy medium that I could do most of the time. So in this edition, I'm going to be picking 4 of the 5 columns myself. They will not be randomly chosen. And then one column is going to be comprised of community created prompts. And you will see all the community ones. I'll show you the actual comment on the screen once they go up. So the comment that has the highest likes is going to be the one, or the ones that will be featured. I am doing a completely self-selected board because of 2 reasons. One, the creativity section of the bingo board was probably my least fun category that I picked, when it's supposed to be the most fun. It's supposed to be this creative fun outlet, and it wasn't that. And the one that was the most fun was Lara's, but also the book category, because the ones I wanted made it on the list. And so when I was picking them last time, it was really clear to me that there were some in all the categories that I really wanted but didn't get picked, and I was really bummed. So now I'm thinking, okay, what happens if I pick them all, or 4 of the 5? Then will I have a greater interest in the board? If that is the case, then maybe in the future I'll have my own column, or we'll do something with that information later. Because I don't actually see myself wanting to have free reign every month, every time. So I'm just looking to spice it up a little bit and seeing how I feel over a month of picking my own items on the board, how that will fare. And also, listen, I can't, July is my birthday month, and I have never really been one of those people who's oh my God, celebrate me. I'm trying to not be weird about my birthday. And this is a way to have fun on my birthday and make it special. And my brother and I have our birthday on the same day, but we're not twins. So I've always had this complex that my birthday's not mine. I don't know. I'm just weird about it. So I exist, my birthday exists, I'm allowed to celebrate it and have fun. And here's a way to make the whole month extra special. Let's talk about what I bought. And I bought one thing. And if you have seen my summer makeup bag, you would have seen it. I did buy MAC Fix Plus. I've already used it. I've owned this for what, 2 weeks? Not even 2 weeks. And we already are having a dent on that. Loved it. Beautiful purchase. Very, very happy with it. How I'm thinking of spending my money. Actually, now that I've just told you what I bought, let's just look at the board. So I think you're a little bit more zoomed in, so it looks a little bit better. Everything is checked off except for these 2 things. I'm kind of not surprised about this. I wish that, and my nails matched the bingo board today. So I am not surprised about this. I wish I did it. And it was only in the last 10 days did I realize that, oh shit, I actually need to do this. And then things actually came up where I wasn't home and I couldn't do it. And now I'm oh shit, I actually really need to get my license renewed. And then learn graphic doodling. To get these things done kind of felt like a chore. And so at one point I was really interested in graphic doodling. Now I don't have that interest at the moment. Like hopefully it will come back, but I don't want to force myself to do something that I don't want to do. I will talk just in a second about some of the ones that I think are most fun or most memorable. But if you can see the board, I have almost an entire bingo cards worth of bingos, and I was thinking, like, do I wait until tomorrow because we're still technically not done June when I'm filming this video? But there's no way either of these two things are happening unless something magical happens where it does, you know, I'll let you know. So I feel pretty safe in this selection. Now, I technically have 7 stars, but I have spent 1 on the Fix Plus. So I have 6 stars and that's $150. So I'm really excited about this. Like I have quite a bit of money to play with and I'm hoping to be able to. So I'm just glad that I have this much money to play with around my birthday time, and my goal is to bank at least 1 star. Like I don't want to spend it all. So I am interested in a couple of things. The first and foremost that like I feel 100% certain that I'll be buying is a paint by numbers. I have talked about this for like almost a full year now at this point, and I just have never bought one. But one of you in the comments for, you know, picking this month's prompts mentioned like a paint night. It was really a moment of renewed interest where I was like, I've been talking about this for so long. Why have I never done it? So I'm gonna finally buy my paint by numbers. And the one that I was the most interested in previously is just no longer around. I cannot find it. And I just like can't make up my mind about what I want. They're about $32. There is like, you know, there's tax on there, but they're all free shipping. So I think also that this was a little bit more than $25. I did buy this, by the way, when it was like when MAC was having a sale. Like I talked about wanting this and then MAC had a sale, so then I bought it. So I think those two together will be 3 stars. So I'll just make whatever I buy, the paint by numbers, whenever I buy it, I'll just make it 2 stars. I've also been very into rings. I got this one from Ana Luisa. I feel I can't describe to you the love affair I'm having with rings. So I also found an Etsy seller who has like these ring sets where you can buy like 3 different rings, and I'll show it to you. They're like really simple, really minimalist rings, and I think I'm gonna get one of those, and that would be 1 token. The paint by numbers, whenever I'm feeling like I have made my decision, I'm okay buying it that day. But the other items, they need to sit for a little bit so I can make my choice and not feel like I'm impulsively buying something because I have the money to do so. The last thing I'm interested in is a black graphic tee. Now, one of the reasons why I really want to wait to buy any of the things with my bingo money is because in a video I made, is it 2 weeks ago now? I think it's 2 weeks ago now. I talked about some items that I was lusting after, and all of them have just fallen by the wayside. I mean, those overalls took a hot minute to like let go of, and they even went on sale on Zara, and I was like, but they weren't practical. They weren't practical. But everything else, makeup included, I'm like, you don't need it. And like, you know, the desire has gone. And actually there were so many great comments about all of the things. So everything in that video is already like out of my mind. I don't want it anymore. And now it's like I'm lusting after a couple of new things. Well, not as many. I can't say it's interest or like a well thought out purchase. It still is in the lust stage because it hasn't stood any test of time. So I'm gonna wait on that. But the one thing that I've desired for roughly about a month now is a band tee. And I have actually gone thrifting and I haven't found one yet. I'm gonna check Poshmark. I've had my eye on it, but I'm a little nervous about getting like a men's large shirt because I just feel very particular about oversized things. So that is a hopefully, but we'll see. So this month, I've had an amazing reading month and I read 12 books this month. I have never read more books in a month than this month. I had an amazing reading month, and I think I just found some like forever love books. Like my taste is really solidifying. For whatever-a-thon, which is one of the prompts, I wanted to read 8 books and I finished it within like the first 10 days of the month. So that was genuinely shocking to me how much I read, and some of these books were monsters, like 700 pages. And again, I read one twice. So this was a beautiful month. For the prompts for an LGBTQ read, I read Honey Girl. I wasn't in love with it because I really wanted a sapphic romance and I didn't get it. Romance wasn't really a strong feature of this book, and that was really disappointing with me. I did resonate with this character's feelings about school to some extent, because some of her feelings were about like being a person of color in a predominantly white field, but her other feelings about academia and the kind of place that it is, I resonated with that. For a classic, I made the prompts work for me. I read Animal Farm. Animal Farm is a newer book, and I feel like it is probably be more considered a modern classic. This wasn't the book that I thought that I was going to read, but I buddy read it with my partner. And so we read it and had this like we were on a 4-hour drive, and for roughly an hour, we talked all about this book, what we could learn from it, communism, socialism, capitalism, all of these things. And it was a really fabulous conversation. Okay, one of them was A Small Town. This was also a stretch too, because I was in my library looking for literally hours and there was nothing that was remotely interesting to me and available. And so the book I picked was A Psalm for the Wild Build. This one's also LGBTQ because it features a non-binary monk. But with this book, I chose this as like small town because this person is visiting small towns, like villages, if you will, and also spends time in nature, which I like. The kind of small town vibes I tend to read tend to be small town romances. I did put a couple on hold, but didn't get them in time. So I like that this kind of pushed my reading in a different direction. For BookTube fave, I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. I read that entire series. I feel like I can make a whole damn video on that series because I have so many thoughts. The first book was weird. Like, I feel like it's not indicative of that series. That one is more like a 6.8 out of 10. But the rest of the series is like a 9 out of 10 for me. So do with that information as you will. Not a perfect series. Like, I'm not somebody who like can't criticize that book or that series. I'm not like a stan, and I recognize that there's problems and it's not perfect, but I loved it. And then I of course finished my BookTube prompts. I also had so much fun creating makeup looks with Lara's prompts. Like, I went at them hard and they were truly joyful. Then also like I did a 2-page spread in my art journal, which was beautiful. And actually, you know what? I'm not going to show that because I actually did a video on that. So we're now going to reset the board. Here we go. I have a personal spreadsheet, and then I also have the bingo prompt ideas that I put out onto the Buy Me a Coffee page last month. So if you would like to see the list that I am looking at, go check out the Buy Me a Coffee page. The bingo board and the prompt ideas are separate because one came out first and then the other, and either way, you can consult them for free. Like, you can download them and use them for free. If you would like to make a donation, feel free to do so, but it's not required. The number one thing I want to do is I want to read a YA fantasy. One of my friends and I met her on YouTube, are currently buddy reading The Cruel Prince, and like we kind of made a pact to like buddy read some YA stuff, but also I have been really loving the YA fantasy. So I want to like make that even more fun. So number one is going to be YA fantasy. And actually, I'm just going to write these down first before I like commit them to paper, because I have a strong feeling that something will change. I also would like to do an Indigenous read. So July 1st is Canada Day, and I just roll my eyes. Like, I don't feel particularly excited about celebrating the day in which white British settlers formalized their power and began in even more earnest in pushing Indigenous peoples off their land by force. Manitoba and Saskatchewan happened. I can't. Reading works written by Indigenous voices, I feel like it's just like extra important at the moment. If you are somebody who is interested in reading books by Indigenous authors as well, two of my absolute favorites are The Clay We Are Made Of. That's my number one pick. It's a fucking banger. My God, it's like the best Indigenous work I have read to date. The number one reason why I love it is because it absolutely questions the white settler mentality of like historical storytelling and also historical sources. Love that. And then number two would be 21 Things You Might Not Have Known About the Indian Act or Don't Know About the Indian Act. Both of them are really great. The second one is, I would say, like probably the most practical for the everyday person in Canada. So both of them are fabulous reads. I'm thinking maybe I'll read like Indian in the Cabinet or a fictional work. We'll see. So the next two are also fairly easy because it's my birthday month. I feel like a birth year read is a really great pick. I think that's an easy choice, but also like we are officially in summer. So I think that a like summer vibes / beach read book would be a fabulous choice. I really like reading as a tool for celebrating our seasons and feeling more immersed and excited about our seasons. So there's that. So we have our first, wait, that's 4. Yeah, that's 4. I need one more. What am I talking about? The last one is going to be a read featuring a great villain. I might talk about this in a video, I don't know, but like I'm all about channeling villainous energy at the moment. So a book that features a great villain, I'm here for. Oh, that's a great one. I'm so excited about this. Okay, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go to habits next, and one of the ones that I'm gonna use the same paper to write down. One of the things I loved so much in the first bingo board was like no socials after 8. And basically, I mean, after 8 is arbitrary. It's basically no socials after dinner. So I did it for, I think it was 7 days last time. We're gonna do it, or was it 10? We're gonna do it for 10 days. One of the prompts I was really disappointed I didn't get last month was wake up at 7. I want to eventually like be able to wake up earlier than that, but I want to start with 7. So we're gonna do that for 7 days. I have my most amount of like creative energy in the morning, and the days I've been waking up late really affects my day. So I feel like the earlier I can wake up, I have this feeling that I'm going to feel like not necessarily a more productive person, but like enjoy my days more. I love the morning more than the evening, like when I'm at home alone or things like that. So we're going to do that. Okay, so the other couple that I've been playing between are to continue the make my bed, but do it every day, because it discourages some bad behavior that I have, which is like hanging out in bed for too long. But also I love doing that. Like I do get work done, but I don't want my bed to be the place that I work. So I was thinking about doing that for like 20 days, which would be, you know, majority of the month. I'm also, sorry, I'm looking at my spreadsheet here, as well as morning walks or like the hot girl walk. Those 3 are some of the ones that I was thinking about as well. I have like a really messy closet I need to clean out, but I have a feeling that trying to force myself to do that would not be great. Okay, so I'm gonna make some decisions at the very end. But the 3 that I want for sure are the no socials after 8, wake up at 7, and then also a 7K run. I'm trying to work myself up to 10K. So I'm hoping by the end, the goal by the end of this month would be to do 7K. That's one to really strive for. And then I really want to do a morning kind of centering routine where like I actually plan my day. That is important to me, 1, because I've set up my planner, but 2, I often have told myself in the past, like, I don't need a planner because like what I'm doing doesn't matter because it's just for me. And I want to treat every day as important. I think that one should be on there. I also want to continue one of the items I had going on for the first one in May, which was no dishes before bed, which is a really bad habit that once I went off the board, I went back to my old ways, but also making my bed every day is one that I really, really want to continue. I'm thinking that out of the 2, the no dishes before bed is the one that is probably the most problematic. So we'll put that back. It's just coming back on the board. I'm going to come to creativity last because some of the ones that I picked for creativity have cropped up in the community ones. So for the like spending, no buy, finance category, the one that I really wanted to do that wasn't picked last month was to play with a really small amount on the stock, like with stocks. I had $10 listed, but I'm thinking maybe like $20 or $25 would be a better amount because like some shares of stocks, $10 wouldn't buy you a share, some it would. So I'll do 20. Okay, I just had to take a break and I've just been finding the spending / no buy category to be like the harder one. The reason being is that writing down like don't buy this thing is not super effective. And also that's not something that really makes it a challenge because I have been in this realm for 2.5 years now. So I've just been finding it a little bit challenging to come up with more novel ideas about things that I can do to make the no buy fun, like that I haven't done yet. I've had some great ones in the past and ones from Lara as well, like unfollow people who don't support the no buy, things like that. So what I have decided, one is a Poshmark push. I have things that I've been meaning to list on Poshmark, but I haven't. So I really want July to be a focus on like listing those things and being active and trying to sell the things that I would like to sell. The second thing is to play the stock market with $20. I think I just mentioned that one. I mean, the stock market is not so much no buy related, but I've always wanted to get into stocks, and my partner does, you know, he's more up and up on this than I am, so I do have somebody to talk to about it. But I am just like, I'm very weird about it and I wanted to do it, and so I'm like, okay, let's just like try it out with $20. To me, it's like kind of in the finance realm. So I think that is one thing that kind of feels a little exciting to me. The next one is a grocery budget. Listen, I've been really great about grocery budgeting up until about April. Like I was religious with my receipts and I was like on or under budget. But with inflation over the last couple of months, I kind of just went fuck it and have just not been paying attention. My gut is telling me I'm probably spending more than what I would have if I would have budgeted, but I don't feel like it's super crazy. I just would like to be more cognizant and make better choices ultimately. So I do have a budget set up. I know what my numbers will be for that. I think this is just an indication of being up and up with it again. So I feel pretty motivated about this one and I like that. I also have been feeling a certain kind of way about my summer wardrobe. What I would like to do for my summer wardrobe is like thrift, no buy, or use my tokens for my summer wardrobe, because I really feel like my summer wardrobe is pretty great and there are a few things that I feel like I would like to get for it. Like I feel like some basics like a literal white and black tank top, as well as potentially a dress, and a black pair of shorts are the things that are missing from it. I genuinely don't need more summer clothes. There are like little pockets that I do genuinely feel a gap in there, but I think that the slope is a little slippery there, where it could really quickly go from buying something that's a good choice to making a $300 order and like buying things because I like them, which is what I don't want to do. I have thrifted more than I ever have before, but the last 2 months I still haven't fully met my goals with fashion like I wanted them to be, because I have known that this is like a problem area for me. So we're gonna try it again. Hello, editing Shawna here. Same sweater, different day. I have changed my mind about the last prompt for like the finance no buy category, and the one that I'm going to be picking instead is to do an at-home mani-pedi. I have for the last month been telling myself that like you don't need to do it at home, like you can go to the salon, and to get like a mani and pedi just like in the market here now would be around $75. I'm perfectly capable of doing my nails at home. Like I think they look great, and I do want to paint my toes, and I feel like I do a pretty good job doing that. But the reason why I'm drawn to it is specifically treat yourself because it's your birthday, opposed to like having money to do it or wanting to spend tokens on it. Like I just want something to spend money on, and I don't want to do it myself, because this has been something I've been telling myself for like a month now. And I really am so tempted to just go to the salon and get that done. It's going on the board, do it at home, and that will be a pretty big win. I'm now going to the community list. I'm going to be picking the top posts. So the highest comment is from Ara Bagger or Badger, Bager, is to do a makeup or fashion look inspired by, and she has a couple of different options. I'm just going to call it a creative outlet. I have one I want to do inspired by a book, and I saw this and I was like, oh yes, y'all need to vote this up because I'm really excited to do it. The second highest is from Dontastic, and they wrote to choose something free to do and spend the day doing it. That one going on the list as well. The next highest is from Martina Wasik, and she wrote to write 7 short stories in 7 days, all different plot points, but starting from the exact same sentence, or 7 days, 7 short stories about the exact same event, but from 7 different perspectives. So I'm going to call this one like 7 short stories times 7, but I'm going to keep this vibe. So the next one I'm going to be doing is from Nicole, and it's to wear your least favorite clothing item styled in a new way. She said times 3. So I think this could be either like 3 items or 3 different ways. So I'll leave that interpretation up to myself. The very last one is from Lori Domino, and it's to do a look with every or almost every color of the rainbow. What I'm gonna do is to create 7 different looks with 7 different colors. I have every single color of the rainbow, even in like some variation. And this one, I like almost didn't want it because it pushes me outside of my comfort zone so significantly. I did have a couple of choices with ones that had this similar amount of votes, and I decided to do this one because it pushes me the most. So those are the community ones. You guys had so many really, really great ideas that I've decided to implement some of them in the creativity option as well. And one of you mentioned a paint night, but you had mentioned it under the idea of doing something free, which was Dontastic. And because I want to keep the spirit of that alive, I put the do the free thing on its own, and then I put a paint night separately because I would need to buy something in order to do the paint night that I want to do. So I'm like really excited about it, and I'm also thinking of inviting my partner's sister, who also has the paint by numbers, and like inviting her over and just like having a great night about it. So that's one for the creativity. I also want to bring back use art as an outlet on a sad day. That was what it was originally listed as, but I'm gonna just put use art as an outlet because it doesn't have to be sad. So I'm gonna do it ×3 because I don't want to assume that I'm just gonna be sad. I want to also go to art when I'm feeling excited or creative. Like I have very creative days, and I think just using art there as well would just make me really lean on my creativity even more. The last one I'm going to be using from the comment section is to put together a summer playlist and share with us why you chose the songs. I'm going to do that. I'm going to give myself a summer vibes playlist, and I have been looking through Spotify to try and find one, and I haven't loved any of them, so I'm going to make my own. That was 3. One that I really wanted to do last month, but I didn't pick it and I was disappointed, was to have a main character energy or vibes kind of day. I don't quite exactly know what that would be, but you ever like read a book or watch a movie and you're like, I wish my life was like that? That's what I want to do. And then the last one is to subscribe to a Patreon that you have wanted to. And in the last couple of months, like one of the prompts last month was to unsubscribe from a service, and so I unsubscribed from 2, and one was $4 and one was $15. And then a couple of months ago I was subscribed to somebody's Patreon, and it wasn't that much. It was like $2 or $2.50, but I stopped. I unsubscribed. This one is, you know, spending more money, but what I was thinking of doing is to use a token to be able to subscribe to this particular Patreon. There's one Patreon in specific that I want to subscribe to, and she also has a book club included in one of the higher priced memberships, which I think is $15. And I've been like, oh, I don't know, it's kind of like a lot of money, but it's also not. I've had this open on my tab a month now, maybe 6 weeks, maybe even longer, but I'm like, oh, $15 is kind of a lot. I was thinking of spending $15 on like a ring set, no problem. And I would rather put my $15 towards, one, supporting a creator, because I value that a lot, but 2, paying a higher tier to get something that brings me value, like bringing in a book club, and 3, I think being subscribed to this channel, so I hope, will be a creative outlet for me. So it's like an all-in-one kind of thing. So that's what I'm gonna do as the last one. So now I'm going to reset the board and we'll finish it off.
Like your smile in the morning, following the linings on your cheeks. Cause baby, in your absence life is boring, so I'll never leave. It's easier to love when it's you by my side, shining through the cracks like the first morning light, feeling like a child through the days and the nights, living in your arms as years go by. It's easier to love, oh, oh, easier to love, oh, oh. There's nothing like the way that you adore me. I can feel love from miles away. And the light in your eyes tells me stories of life in a more perfect place where I wanna stay. It's easier to love when it's you by my side, shining through the cracks like the first morning light, feeling like a child through the days and the nights, living in your arms as years go by. It's easier to love, oh, oh, easier.
It's the same day. I'm just back from the gym, just wearing, you know, different clothes. The board she's all done. She's all completed. I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I wanted to close out this video properly. Thank you to everybody who gave a bingo prompt. I'm so grateful that so many of y'all came through and made a suggestion and voted. Y'all really got my creative juices flowing. And I appreciate everyone who participated. So thank you for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Low Buy Bingo. I would love to hear how your month went in the comments down below. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope to see you again around here soon. Bye.